Hey y'all, thank y'all for coming and welcome to my channel, Healing Beautifully. This is a new journey for me, something I've wanted to do for a very long time. However, just current circumstances, just lost my mom January 22nd, and I decided to jump on this a little quicker than I would have if she hadn't passed. So what this channel is for, this channel, we are going to talk about trauma. We are going to talk about holistic health. And when I say holistic health, I'm talking about emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, holistic health, understanding that all of those things are interconnected, right? And a lot of us, we may be good in one area, so we think, and then find out that all the other areas are just a full mess. And so the purpose is for me to talk about how we can use our spirituality, our intellect, and our artistic abilities, our gifts and our talents that God has given us to heal or to be really a part of the process of healing, because healing is definitely a process. And although my current journey is me dealing with the loss of my mom, right? I've had so many other traumatic experiences in life. And I feel like some of us, and I'm so sure you cannot, or we cannot really be honest about trauma. And it's a cultural thing. Sometimes it's just us not wanting to deal with the things that have happened to us. And sometimes we don't even know that we have been traumatized. Somebody say, how you gonna tell me I don't know that I've been traumatized? Well, trauma can be normalized in a lot of cultures. Things that happen because it happened to everybody. Everybody getting abused, right? So it's not trauma. Or everybody being discriminated against is not trauma. Everybody's losing somebody, so it's not trauma. Anything that has hurt you, broke you, anything that's been devastating, anything that's a fracture, is wounded you, it's bruised you, is trauma. And the thing is, because we don't always want to recognize that it's trauma, we have no idea how that thing, how that event, how that person, how it plays a part in our everyday life regarding how we move forward. And so on this channel, it's going to be clean and uncut. You know what I'm saying? I want us to just talk. I'm just gonna have moments I come on here. I just want to talk to y'all. Let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about things that we are dealing with every day in life and having these ridiculous experiences that nobody knows, because some of us are good at smiling. I'm an optimist, right? I love to smile. I love Jesus. So I really believe in, the spirit of heaviness. I got a garment of praise hanging right there. But when we need to learn how to deal with our trauma, it seems just like it's always we pass over that. And we have to do more than pray, because after you pray, you have to believe. And in order for you to believe and have faith, you have to have actions. And so it's not just those simple things, but we can use all the things that God has given us to be a part of that healing process. And so this channel was made for that. And I do have a disclaimer. I am not a clinician. Okay. I am a student, though, of psychology. Yes, I'm a little nerd when it comes to behavior. But during this journey, I'm going to have people come on here. I'm going to have some doctors. I'm going to have some clinicians, some therapists, some new and upcoming artists, some authors coming, and we're going to talk about how they have allowed that gift that God has given them to help heal them, because so many times our gifts and our callings and our talents, they heal everybody else. A person that sings, somebody can listen to it and feel encouraged, but then we don't always take it for ourselves, right? And so we're going to learn how to do that, or we're going to talk about it on this channel. But first, I know y'all saw the subtitle, about trauma. Are we healed, or are we hindered? Are we healed? Because we're going to say, some of us going to say, I'm over it. I've been healed. Are we healed, or are we holding? You know what I'm saying? Are we healed, or are we just not paying attention to it? Is it hidden somewhere? Right. And so I think the first part of this, and as we start the journey and talk about it, I want to talk about the first part. First part of this is us saying, am I truly healed? Or did I really deal with this thing? Is this something I want to talk about? Absolutely not. Is this something that I want to deal with? Most times takes a lot of courage. And some of us have used it. We know that it's there. We've been made aware. Let me just say that we are perfectly aware that we've been traumatized. We are perfectly aware that we have been bruised and we have been hurt and we have been, fractured and broken down and damaged. We know. Thank you. We really know that. But then there's others, like as I said before, that it's so much a part of culture. It's so much a part of the society in which I came up in. Even church hurt, right? It's in church they tell you just get over it, pray, just keep on loving people. But how do I deal with the trauma that came with that? So in everything that we have dealt with in life that is traumatizing, there is a way we can heal from it, but we have to be honest that it was trauma in the first place. You know what I mean? You have to know that this hurt, that this not only hurt, but it changed the direction of what I thought. It changed my perspective about life. And so just telling somebody to deal with it, just because you feel that you may be strong enough just to deal with it, everybody else is not that strong. Or they just feel like, I shouldn't have to just deal with it because it happened to me. I didn't ask for it to happen to me. I'm talking about abuse. I'm talking about how you grew up in your childhood. We're talking about trauma, losing a loved one. Of course, I'm still in the acceptance stage. I don't even think it's real, to be honest, that she's gone. My birthday is tomorrow. And yeah, I'm posting this video on that day, but it's kind of just like, it's weird because she's not really gone in my head. So I'm still going through the motions in that. And I find myself crying at ridiculous times because grief shows up, honey, and she does not care when she shows up. She pops up whenever she wants to. So I understand that that's a traumatic event. I just lost my mother. And so now that I know that I have these traumatic events, not just the one that I am currently trying to process, but all the other stuff, because some of us have multiple traumatic experiences. Some of them we're going to pay attention to, but some of them we're going to hide. When I say hide, if you could just let your imaginations go, say you got a nice little safe in the wall or secret entrance. You push the button, the wall opened up, honey. We got that thing in the wall. You go down some stairs. It's a brick wall with some mortar, and then you got to push a key that turns over, and then there's a little bitty safe, and you got to put you in your own little code, and there goes our pain. There goes our trauma. That's something that we don't want to expose to anybody. We don't even want the air to hit it. Matter of fact, when we go into that deep place and we look at it, we're like, oh my God, we can't even catch our breath because we've been triggered by this traumatic experience. But in order for us to even begin the healing process of having this traumatic experience, we got to first acknowledge that it's there. How am I going to know that I need healing if I am not even willing to say, I'm traumatized. This happened to me, and not trying to protect people. And when I say that, I'm not saying we're going around just throwing names out saying so-and-so did this to me. No, but you have to be willing to help yourself. Let me say this. This is going to be all about self-care. When we talk about healing holistically, all of those things, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, all those things are self-care things. And it's very hard for us to pour into people, which we do anyway, when we are empty ourselves, because we've poured out, but we didn't care about all those other things. And we have this form, right? This presentation that we are okay. And then, honey, go home, be crying. We're not. We thank God, though. I'm a person that believes in prayer. So I do thank God for the hour of prayer because it has kept me, honey. Listen, it has kept me. That's the spiritual part of me. But what about all those other things that's a part of me that with that can help me move along in this process? You have to first say, let's go down in the basement where the lock and the key and everything is. Let's go into that tomb that we've put it in, honey. And let's go open it and say, okay, yeah, she's here. That hurt, that trauma, or not just the trauma, but everything that happened after the trauma. This trauma happened. So the cause and the effect, when it comes to the trauma, this trauma made my life go in so many different directions. And guess what? Some of us feel that because the direction was positive, that this trauma, we hold on to it. It becomes our safe place. This trauma has made me the anointed one that I am. This trauma has pushed me to go further and push farther than anybody ever thought I was going to go. We use that to fire us up and go, because I ain't going to never be like this. And I'll talk about myself. I ain't going to never be like this. I'm not going to be a product of my environment. I'm going to be different. Yeah, we say that. We go, and I went to Jesus. Thank the Lord. Thank you for accepting me. Thank you for the process. He has healed me from a lot of things, but some of the things I didn't want to talk about, some of the things I didn't want him to touch, some of the things when it comes to hurt and pain, I don't even want you talking to me about it, because sometimes people talk to you, don't have a clue what you're dealing with. And they're trying to give you advice, and you like, oh, okay. Oh, okay, God bless you. Because you really don't, you have no clue of what I am dealing with. And even if you have experienced something similar, our processes may be different. And so we really do have to, in prayer, really ask God to lead us and help us to be wise when we're trying to help one another. So this is what I'm trying to do. This is an attempt for me to do ministry outside of the four walls of the church and do something I'm good at. This is something I'm actually good at. I'm good at talking to people and trying to, at least I think I am, good at talking to people and helping them realize that you are more than you are not your trauma. But sometimes that thing stays on the inside of us. It becomes a part of me. It becomes the part of the foundation of who I am, but it doesn't have to be. So first thing first, I've acknowledged, Sweetie Pop, that I have been hurt. I have been wounded in this battle. Yes, I have. Things have happened that have not been my fault. And some of the people that have done it, I can't even tell nobody who it was. You know what I'm saying? Especially not just family. Sometimes it's in church. You can't even tell nobody because you don't want to sow no discord, right? We don't want to open up and say what has happened because we're trying to protect everybody else. So I have identified. I'm traumatized. Something has happened. And it's not always people, it's places, it's events, right? That has come, and it's like, it's society, honey. I'm a Black woman in America. It's society that sometimes helps us feel like we are not whole, that we're broken, fractured, or damaged or something, right? So now that I feel like I know what this trauma is, I now have to choose to do something about it. And let me be perfectly clear. Just because you recognize that you've been hurt is not the same thing of deciding to go through a healing process. Me knowing that I'm hurt is just knowing that I'm hurt. Yeah, I know that I was hurt. Yeah, I have all of that trauma locked up somewhere, or most of it, or the real bad stuff is hitting down, on the inside somewhere. And when it's triggered, then you get another response from me. But we have to not only recognize that we have been traumatized, but Sweetie Pops, we got to make that choice and say, guess what? I don't want this to hinder me in everything I'm trying to do, because in some instances, or in my own, I'm gonna be very transparent. It's like, I've created all this stuff, right? I've created all these walls. I've created a whole place for me, and a whole nother, something you can't see, but so that I can be better than where I come from, so that I will not put the same trauma on me that on my children that was probably put on me, and I don't want it to happen to them any other way. So I'm extremely protective when it comes to my babies. People that know me, I am extremely protective. But being protective sometimes can hinder them from their growth, because you're so scared that something is going to happen to them because you have not let go of what has happened to you. I'm not saying not using wisdom and being mindful of where your children are going when it comes to myself, okay? But being mindful that just because it happened to you don't mean it's going to happen to them. So I need to start the healing process, because although, again, this has made me great, my trauma, I feel like I wouldn't change it, because it has made me realize so many things. It's helped me gain perspective. It has helped me become a strong person and individual. But I'm at a point in my life, it's like, man, but honey, you have created all these other things that is going to hinder you, baby girl. You are going to just mess up everything if you not get rid of all this stuff that you've created, although it helped you for seasons. Hear me. It helped me for seasons, but then it trapped you in other things when you're trying to grow holistically. Holistically, say it with me. Holistically, we're not leaving anything out, and nothing is off. We talk about everything. That's what I want to say. We're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about everything. If you put in the comments, hey, let's talk about this, or if somebody inboxes me on Facebook and say, we need to talk about this, I want to talk about it, because I know 2020 was last year, but guess what? Some of us still dealing with the effects of it. 2020 did a lot, and some of us really realized, some about a year of vision, honey, clarity. I realized a whole lot about myself, number one, that I did not like. And I just do not want to end up being one of those people that get stuck. I came into a new year. I had my vision board, people. I was ready to go. And then, my mom on the 2nd of January went into the hospital, and when it was diagnosed with COVID-19. After having so many other health issues, everything happened so crazy. And then that trauma threw a wrench into everything else. It's kind of like, oh, I was trying to heal. But then this trauma affected all the other stuff I was trying to fix. Honey, that's a whole nother word. The fact that we go through other traumas, and then while we're trying to fix that trauma, they just keep colliding, and then we have to come and pick ourselves up again. But we have to be willing to be courageous enough to start the process of healing. And so when you see, am I healed or am I hiding? This is something I really want you to think about. Am I made whole, or am I just, pretending? Do I just have my face on? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do I just have my face on? And the ability, sometimes we feel like because we have the ability to speak life into others and to encourage others and to help them get their healing, that has got us our healing. We haven't dealt with it yet. They may have went through the process of dealing with it. You've walked them through, you gave them great advice, but then if we can take our own advice, that would be awesome. And we can take our own advice on how we can heal and not just cover up or just we'll throw prayer on something and just leave it alone. But we have to pray believing. And I think that's the scripture. Y'all can check me in the comments. We have to pray believing. And when you pray believing requires some type of faith, and faith has to have action. Faith is nothing if you ain't doing nothing. If you don't do nothing, I think James was the one that was like, you know what I'm saying? You have faith with the works to go with it. You can't have faith without any type of works or action that goes with it. And the action of change, the commitment to change is where we get the problem. Okay. I can go pray. I can shout over it, maybe speak in tongues, pass out in the floor, but the actual change that needs to happen, the action of it, which happens by my faith, honey, that's the whole other thing. Because when the choir stops singing and I'm in the house by myself and then I'm praying, right? How do I apply that thing so that it changes me? And some of us, we have all these gifts and talents, right? That can help us as it helps other people, but we feel like it has to be separate. No, we can use all of that. I'm a smart girl. At least I think I am. I'm intellectual. At least I think I am. I'm a little nerd when it comes to certain things like behavior. At least I think I am. But all of those things I can use for the glory of God. You know, this is ministry. All of us that have been put here on this earth have purpose. We are somebody. I do not believe that just because you have a title or you are the owner of a business or you have done this is that you're greater than. No, we are all somebody, and we all have things placed in us that we are supposed to go and use, right, to help people, right, and to help build the kingdom. Because, you know, church people, we're supposed to help build the kingdom, but we are so hindered by the weight and the sin, by the weight of just trauma and not knowing how to deal with it. So I hope that during this video, these videos are only going to be about 20 minutes long, and it's going to be very informal. Okay, I'm going to be talking to you just like I'm talking to, we were sitting down at the kitchen table talking, and then I am going to have guest speakers. I'm going to have people come on, like I said, clinicians and therapists and authors and doctors, and we're going to talk just like we're at the kitchen table, right? And we were just asking for advice because we want to get down to the nitty gritty or the why of why I'm like this. Because sometimes you have to figure out, oh, the reason why I behave like this is because of this trauma that I've locked down in the basement, in the safe that, you know, I pushed. God don't even come. You won't even let him touch it or breathe on it because it's going to hurt too bad. And so we have to come to the place where we have the courage to heal. Are you willing to take this? Are you willing to start this process? Do you know that trauma, number one, did you know that it was trauma? And number two, are you willing to start the process? Are you ready to make the choice after you have recognized it to start the process of healing? Baby girl, sweetie pop, that's why we're here. We're going to take this journey together, and we're going to have some very transparent moments. I want you to go in the comments. I want you to say how you feel. I want you to say, okay, Francis Baxter, riddle me this, sis. You know what I'm saying? Say it so then we can find help, because guess what? Your perspective is based on what is real to you. Your reality may not be the truth. My perspective is based on my reality, may not be the truth. But if I can gain perspective and come sit where you are just for a second to understand, to gain understanding, regardless if I agree with you or not, man, the world will be a better place. So you're going to hear perspective a lot. That's my favorite word because it's helped me a whole lot in my life, trying to grow and trying to be a better person. So I want us to be open-minded. It's not scary to be open-minded. Be open-minded about how we can heal. And we're going to allow God to do it, but we're going to allow God to use our talents that he gave us. We're not going to bury it in the sand and then go try to bring it back to him. No, we're going to go out and we're going to do something with it. Because then once we commit to change, listen, sweetie pops, once we commit to change, we'll then uncover that it's other things that need to be changed, but we have to commit to the first step. I've been on a fitness wellness for a minute. And when my mama first got sick, I'm blaming everything on her, right? I started eating up a storm again. I was working out and I was doing good. And it's like that emotional health affected my physical health. Yes, it did. My mental health affected my physical health. And I was just like, oh my goodness, I gotta do it. But for instance, you have to first commit to the change of just eating less or eating better, just being a little more healthy. Then you probably will understand, okay, after I'm eating healthy, another commit to a change of let me go and start working out, or commit to a change. Well, this don't work for me. Let me try this. You won't never know what needs to be changed holistically if you don't commit to the first step. You have to commit to the first step in the process of your whole healing. So I'm praying you all that you are excited to go on this journey with me. I'm excited about it. I hope that you are excited to go with me. So I would love for you to subscribe to the channel. Click the notification so when I do put up another video, you will know that I put up another video. If you know a loved one, a friend, anybody that's like, you know what, they may benefit from this. They may benefit from this process. Go ahead and share with them, because we're trying to help each other. Y'all might be able to help me, and I want y'all to, just as I'm trying to bring help to you. So that is it for the day. I want you to think about what I've said, and I want you to come back, and I want you to be a part of this. So God bless you, sweetie pops, and I will see you next time.